You all want to know what three generations feel about the movie A Low Down Dirty Shame? Stay tuned. Welcome back to Shenanigans of XY&Z. I'm Miss J.
I'm Lay.
I'm Jair.
And I'm Frank.
Today we're going to be talking about A Low Down Dirty Shame. This was a movie that came out in November of 1994. It was written and directed by Keenan Ivory Wayans. Just to give you a description of what the movie was about, ex-cop, now a private detective, takes on the search for the millions stolen by a drug lord. This movie also starred Keenan Ivory Wayans, part of the Wayans family. They're better known for In Living Color. It also starred Jada Pinkett Smith, Charles S. Dutton, Sally Richardson, and Corwin Watkins, I think is his name. At the time of the release, Keenan Ivory Wayans was 36, Jada Pinkett Smith was 23, Charles Dutton was 43. He seems to be one of the older ones in the cast. Sally Richardson was 27. Matter of fact, I think she turned 27 the day of the release. Then there was Corwin Hawkins. He played Wayman. He was he would have been 29 on the day of the release. However, he did pass away the same year it was released, August 5th of 1994, and he died from complications from AIDS.
It was pneumonia.
That's complications from AIDS. Yeah.
It was pneumonia. It was pneumonia, and the AIDS didn't help his immune.
Yes, and that's what they call complications from AIDS. Yes, a lot of them die from pneumonia, which is complications from AIDS. When I was looking on some information about this, it said that this part was originally written for RuPaul, and Keenan Ivory Wayans, he discovered Corwin during an appearance on Def Comedy Jam that was very, very popular back in the 90s, and so that's how Corwin got the part. And I remember, he used to dress in drag and do comedy. That was the bit on Def Comedy Jam, so that's how he got discovered to get the part. There was also a main character, Mendoza, and I'm sorry I did not get his real name. I did not get that, I apologize. But at the time of the release, he would have been 39. Let's get into what we thought about the movie.
I believe I've seen the movie before, but I guess I never really watched it through. I thought it was cool, but I mean, I thought I already knew I was gonna like it because it was a Wayans production. But it was nice to actually see Keenan, playing stuff, because we usually know him to be, the director or the producer of all of the shows or most of the shows that they have in there. And of course, we saw a sibling. What was her name again? Oh my gosh. Kim. Yes. We saw a sibling in there, so that was cool. And I liked the movie previously. Watching it through, I like the movie a little bit more now. The plot was, I guess I can say, was predictable, but not for him, I would say. I like the movie though. I would say I like the movie. And of course we have some age issues. Again, I don't know what it is with y'all, but Jada Pinkett Smith and Keenan are very far in age. And her bringing up the fact that she was 16 when they met and then they get together at the end of it. Very weird. There's that. But I mean, overall, I did like the movie. It was a lot of action in there. I didn't think the fighting scenes were cheesy, considering that the family is considered comedians. It wasn't, too cheesy for me. I could actually take him seriously as a private investigator in the movie, so I would say I like it. I don't like the age stuff, but I like the movie.
So yeah, like you were saying, I did enjoy the movie. It was nice to see him actually playing a role, kind of a funny role too. He was still serious, but just seeing a little more of his personality, because I'm not really used to seeing him being that type of way. The age thing, I did look it up. She was like 22, 23, and I guess like her real age. In the movie, he was supposed to be late 20s, almost 30, just about like somewhere in that range. So it was like a 6-year difference, which, I mean, the older you get, it's not a really big gap, but since she was so young, she just is hitting adult ages, kind of, sort of. And like I said, in maybe like a couple videos ago, in some states, the age of consent is like 16. And then like that was pretty normal. I feel like it's been pretty normal up until maybe the 2010s and up. It's been kind of like, but that's kind of normal. Older men, younger women, it was very strange that he was like, I guess he knew her. She went from adorable 16-year-old girl to beautiful woman, whatever. I'm like, to even be able to look at her like, oh, she's adorable. Like,
yeah, I could be like, oh, that's little bro.
Right.
I couldn't look at him the type of way.
Right. Also, there were some, like, I guess racial slurs in a sense when she was talking about Angela. When Peaches was referring to Angela, I guess her being Native American, like those type of slurs towards her. I'm not surprised. It was just different. It wasn't as taboo. But yeah, it was a funny movie. I would watch it again. I did like the movie. The fighting scenes, I don't know. I guess he was trying to be funny, but also trying to make it like real actiony. Like I couldn't tell. It was like a mixture of both. I guess he was trying to show, like, if it was a regular, I don't know, kung fu type of fighting movie, and then he had his funniness to it. I don't know. It was a good movie. It was cool. It just those couple of problematic things that was just like, in today's age, it would not be okay. How'd you feel about it, Frank?
I actually enjoyed this movie. I think it was a hood classic. It's one of those hood classic movies like Paid in Full and Friday. I like the story. It definitely was predictable, but it's Keenan Ivory Wayans doing like a serious role. I mean, I feel like the action scenes they weren't bad. He was putting hands on them.
Yeah.
He's putting hands on a lot of them. It wasn't too much going on, not anything controversial. Of course, the age thing was kind of like, I feel like they could have took a different direction with that one, because it seemed like she was more like a little sister throughout the movie who just, I guess had a crush on someone that she looked up to or she spent a certain amount of time with. And it's definitely an endearing relationship if it's like that. You got Jada Pinkett Smith playing the second main character, second protagonist. I guess, of course, they were trying to go for a love interest thing. And the thing with Angela, that's her name, Angela? Yeah. I think it was a good movie overall. I was surprised that it had such low reviews. What was it, like a 9 or a 4%?
I think it was like a 5.9 on IMDb.
9 or 4%.
No, I think there was like Rotten Tomatoes, because
Yeah,
they do it like out of 100. So I saw it like 4 or 9%. And I'm like, I feel like they just being way too critical. I don't think it was a movie that you're supposed to take too serious. It's like something you just throw on like a Sunday after a cookout or something. I don't know, but I enjoyed it. It was a good movie. I will definitely watch it again. It got a lot of all-stars in it. What's the old boy's name? Sonny. He put up a performance in that movie. He was going crazy. But it definitely kept my attention for majority of the movie.
I would say even the beginning, like from the very beginning, it was entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Like it grabbed you in immediately.
Yeah. We never saw that dude, that Asian dude. Well, I forgot his name. What his name was? Lee Fu. It was something. He said,
something cat.
He said, "I'll see you again." We never saw him again. He is not a man of his word. What do you think, Mother?
I like the movie. I always liked this movie. This is, one of my, like you said, kind of a good classic kind of movie. I feel like the Wayans themselves are kind of like Black Dynasty in the industry. I always thought it was a good movie. I always liked that movie. As you noticed when we were watching it, I was like saying some of the words because I've watched it so many times and remember the scenes and everything. Mm-hmm. I thought it was a good movie. I liked the part, especially with Wayman and Bernard. I thought that was I thought that was so funny. And a lot of people will probably notice that that's a very, very popular meme that's out there. And now you can maybe understand if you've never seen the movie and you get interested to watch it, you'll get to see that that's where that meme comes from that movie. And unfortunately, as I said in the beginning, he did pass away very young, 29 years old. He didn't even get to see himself in that movie. That's a sad thing to think about, but I think that his performance was very well. He did very well in his in that role, and I thought, he probably would have been able to go far. If nothing else, with Keenan discovering him, you never know how the Wayans do things. They kind of keep people on. So I could have probably saw his career kind of going somewhere, with them in different movies like that. But it's just unfortunate, he didn't get that opportunity. But, his performance was appreciated. I thought he was very funny.
Right.
And he was able to, really kind of stand out, even though he was, he wasn't like the main character. There was so many other things going on.
He was definitely like the top 5. He was a memorable one.
Yeah, he was. Sure. I thought he was. With
all the other people up there. Like, I definitely, that whole household and Shame and then Angela, like that whole,
Yeah, I can definitely see that. He did definitely hold his own in that movie. And I agree about the ages, but you know, you guys are like focusing on the age of Peaches and Shame. You were saying that you were thinking that he was supposed to be in his late 20s. I never knew that. I just went by like his real age. I was just thinking like maybe he would have been like in his 30s just because he had been a police officer and different things like that.
Yeah,
So,
I looked it up.
Oh.
That I looked up both ages. She was supposed to be around 22, 23.
Okay.
I guess her real age, and then in the movie he was supposed to be late 20s, early 30s. They were saying something about him possibly being like washed up age-wise because he was kind of like about to be on his way out. I guess back then you start at 19, I don't know, and then he didn't game that long. He's kind of like on his way out. I don't know.
Okay.
Even though there was an older guy, there was a lot of older detectives. I don't know. He's supposed to be around that age. They didn't say specific. I think one said 29, then another one said like late 20s, early 30s.
Okay, well let's average it to 30.
Right.
So then that still meant he was 8 years older than Peaches.
Right.
At that point, they met 6 years ago when she was 16. So then he would have been 24 at that point when they met. And you know, I guess based on what he was saying, you know, he didn't look at her like that, and maybe it wasn't until she started really kind of pouring it on thick, maybe he started looking at her a little bit differently, like she's actually a woman now, and you know, maybe he would have some interest in her and some of the things that she did have to offer, because she was really 22. She was really kind of childish. She had some qualities of an adult, but a lot of childish things about her as well. So I think to me that would be what would make me think about why would he be interested in someone like that, because she was immature. She's very immature based upon, and he said that, you know, they don't have things in common. And that was the thing that made me think like, why would he be interested in her other than, you know,
but that's the question we always have.
Yeah.
Like, they are totally different. Like, I mean, like I said, the older you get, the gap kind of like, it's not that big of a deal because you have experiences in life, but she's just starting and he's so far, let's just say almost 10 years more experience. So, I mean, there's pros and cons. Like, yeah, she may be a little annoying. She may not know things. She's childish, but then, I mean, look wise, and she could be more moldable. And I mean, he was kind of paying her dust, and she was always ready to, you know, keep proving herself and all those things. So some guys just like that. They like that part. They'll deal with the rest of it. And I mean, she's gonna get to a point anyways. Like, she'll grow up at some point.
Yeah, I can definitely see it growing. So, I mean, again, I don't understand why I can never be 18 and up. I still don't, you know, I'm not with the teenagers, but I never understand why I can't be like a legal age everywhere and then on from there, because that's only 2 years older than 16, that it could have been her age that they met, and then boom, she develops into a woman. But I do understand, you know, not looking at somebody a certain way and then it's like, oh, well, hold on, let me. Then he did still kind of try with Angela, but then
Angela was too far gone.
Yeah, once she said she was on her own by 12, I said, oh, okay.
But Angela wasn't wrong though. I kind of felt Angela, because like if she wanted to come first, like I mean, at what point, like, is it going to be just about me and you and not everything else around? So.
And then too, to what you're saying about the 16 thing, I don't think that that's so much of a factor, because he didn't pursue her or even look at her like that. It took 6 years of them kind of being around each other and to her developing into being a woman for him to even possibly think about those things, because it seemed as though it was developing right in those moments right there when she was 22, almost 23. Now, I'm not saying it was okay, because you got to think about, even in real life, he was 35 and she was still 22. So there is a big gap on that. And then when you think about Angela, was she supposed to be portraying someone older? Because in real life, she would have been 26, turned 27. They're really only 4 years apart, Peaches and Angela. And just to see how different they were in just those 4 years, just kind of hard to determine. And then when you think about Angela, she was with Mendoza. He was almost 40. And even if she was 27, or we never really got her age, but we knew that she was older than Peaches, she was still younger than Shane.
But remember, the older you get, the gap kind of is a little different. I mean, because, I mean, then at that time too, you know, we get into, you need to be married age, and that's about actually, Peach's age is about the time we start getting into that it's time to settle down. So honestly, Angela was a little too late. She already had him at some point, probably when she was
younger.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like early 20s, and then it didn't work out. So she's just trying to get to where she's trying to go.
Yeah, that was 5 years earlier, right? Because that bus that went wrong, I think it was that one where it said it was 5 dead. I think it was 5 years earlier than that. So let's say she's about, what, 20, 22? Same age as Peaches around that time. And what he would have been in his late 20s?
Yeah, still in his late 20s.
But you have to think about it too. Peaches met him at 16. She didn't know about Angela though. So I'm feeling like all this stuff happened prior to Peaches even being in the picture. So how old is Angela? How old was Angela prior to? Even if she was supposed to be in real life, like I said, she was 26. Even if they were giving her 25. 6 years ago, she was 19. And then think about the Mendoza guy. She was with him, so that's a large gap. And I guess it made sense too when you're tying everything in together. When you think about someone who is 12 when they're years old, when they have to be out on their own and trying to make it, and you get yourself into those situations that you're trying to survive. And she looked like she had built herself into being very high maintenance and liking the finer things in life. And in order to be high maintenance and live the finer things in life, if you have not developed a skill to find that money, you're gonna find that money somewhere.
Right.
And of course you're gonna find it in a guy like that, like Mendoza, who's a drug dealer. So that's basically how I feel about Angela. Also, let's get into Charles Dutton. I think he's a really, really good actor. He always, especially around that time, he always kind of played that loud, tough guy in a lot of different things. He was in the show Rock.
Who is Charles S. Dutton? That's the Sonny.
Sonny.
Yeah. He's he always kind of played that rough kind of character. I think his background is kind of rough too. I think he had a little stint in jail. He kind of was able to play that kind of tough guy role. But he's also been just such a great actor. I really enjoyed most of the things I've ever seen him in, and he did exactly what he normally does. He comes in there and he gives it his all, and he's very believable in every role that he ever plays. So he did a very good job. Going back to what you guys were saying about Keenan Ivory Wayans, so funny. He has been in other roles. And I know everybody's so used to seeing him in Living Color, which actually ended. The final show was, I think, May of 1994, and this came out in November. But he has been in other movies. He's been in other shows. He was connected to Robert Townsend. He was another one that was very popular, black actor, director, writer. That movie with those two was Hollywood Shuffle. And then I believe that Keenan had did I'm Gonna Get You Sucker prior to this movie as well. But then he's been in other things, including A Different World. It's funny that you guys are saying that. So for anybody else who just doesn't know and they just think he's kind of one thing, yeah, he was in other things prior to that. He's established. I think overall the movie is good. I would still watch it to this day. I think it just would sit a little bit differently, in this generation. I don't think it'd be too bad. Like you were saying, that there was some references, and thinking back, that was pretty on trend for that time to be making those references. Even though nowadays you look at her and like, oh, she's not this and she's not that, why would you call her that? But back then, looking how she looked, that would be pretty on trend for that time frame, and probably wouldn't be looked at to be anything. But other than that, I thought it was a good movie. The action was good, and I love action movies. I love to watch the fights in the movies, the way they were choreographed, the way they were executed. I think he did a very good job of that, and I think he was very believable as well, because so many people are used to him with the comedy. I feel like while it did have comedy, I think everything that he did in the movie, he was able to be believable. So that's why that movie, I think it will stand to the test of time, because it's not, I don't really think in anything you're going to get perfection. You're not going to get it where no one says anything bad, no one says anything where somebody's offended by it. People are always going to be offended by the smallest thing.
Yeah, it changes every 3 to 5 years.
It's a new thing. Seconds.
Yeah, I was going to say it's in 3 to 5 seconds.
It's a new thing to be offended by.
Yeah. So I don't really look at this one and be like, oh my God, this is just. I don't think that at all. There's also going to be things that people feel like may have to work on, and this is one of the things like we don't want to do that, but this is not a whole lot that you would really have to go back and have to do a lot of checks and balances on this movie to me.
Yeah, he wasn't too. I feel like with most of the movies that they do, they're not too like out of touch and just all over the place. Seem like they just have standards and boundaries, and you know, they know how to be funny without being too controversial.
Yeah, it's definitely I'm not someone who likes to watch many movies over, but that's something that you can watch over and over and over and over.
Yeah, it wasn't too long either.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, this is dragging. Like, it kept your interest the whole time. And yeah, I could watch that over again. It could be like something that you turn on again.
Yeah.
Right.
It does have replay.
My concern, that one dude, when he pulled up to him at the bar, that same guy that he, I guess, kidnapped and sent to the Klan members area, I don't know how he's alive.
I knew you were gonna say that.
He survived getting beat up. I don't know what Mendoza did to him. He survived that. He survived being in the Klansman's town or area. And then he survived the dogs. I don't understand how that man is not hamburger meat. I really don't.
Then he survived the car.
No, I say the car, the taxi.
Car situation.
Then he survived the car. Goodness gracious.
The taxi, they were shooting at each other.
That man is blissed.
Yeah, they went over a cliff.
He need to retire after that.
Well, you don't know what the dogs did to him, so we
Right.
don't know what happened to him after that point. But yeah, I guess, but you know, that of course keeps the comedy going and everything. And even though it was, I think it's a little more of a serious situation where he's kind of getting beat up in the end, but it was funny because everything kept happening to him. He just kept surviving. Yeah.
I don't know how he's doing it.
He's my leg guy from SpongeBob. Just keep getting. What's your rating?
So my rating would be, I would give it a 4.8 out of 5. I didn't have any complaints.
2 out of 5.
Out of 5?
Out of 10. Let's do 10
Out of 10?
Yeah, you should do
Okay,
that.
let's do 9.8 out of 10.
Okay. Yeah, I would say that as well. Yeah, I would say that as well. 9.8.
What about you, Frank?
I would give it an 8 out of 10. Probably 8.5 out of 10. I like the movie.
I would say it's a good
I would
prediction.
watch it again.
What about you, Mom?
I would give it a 9.5. I have watched it so many times and will continue to watch it so many times. And like you said, it's not too long. It's something that you can, really enjoy every time it comes on. And I just think it was a good movie. 9.5. I would watch it again for the 1,000th time.
Yeah. For me, 1,001.
Yeah.
Wonder what we're going to be watching next. Ooh.
I never know. Oh my gosh.
That was our review of A Low Down Dirty Shame. Let us know what you guys feel about the movie or what you think about the movie down in the comments. We appreciate you guys for tuning in to our fourth installment of Shenanigans with XY&Z. I am Frank today.
I'm Lay.
I'm Jair.
And I Miss J.
And make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit the subscribe button. We're all going to have subscribe buttons right there. If you don't see it, it's right there. Subscribe.
I hope you like the Miss J you got today.